So I'm making a wicking tub for some tomatoes and blackberries. This is a 20-gallon tub, and I put 4-inch drain pipe, non-perforated, and this is a 1-inch PVC pipe going into the drain hose, and then I'm capping the ends with weed fabric, and I'm going to cover it up with coarse silica sand up to here. And then I have a drain tube here at 2.5 inches up. I'm going to have to modify that because this barrel is curved, and I didn't account for that. This is the first one. So I'm going to have to angle the drill so that it comes out flat, because it's going to be angled on the inside. Then I have that going through the drain pipe to the inside. And then I have another 90 in there. No, kind of hard to see. Another 90 in there. So it'll be filtered so it won't fill up with sand. I'm going to zip tie this closed so that only water and nutrients will be in here. And then the sand will wick out and up to the coconut coir and perlite. So basically it's going to be hydroponics. So after some difficulty, I got that weed guard around that 4-inch pipe. And then I also zip tied these together because they were pulling apart and then falling and flopping all over the place in here. And I want this dislodging after I have all my soil in there. So I'll show you how I zip tied this in a little bit. And this is a 1-inch PVC, and then I used a 1.5-inch drill hole saw, and then I used weed guard and wrapped it around here and shoved it in. But it doesn't have weed guard on the inside because that won't be needed. Just wanted to create a seal so sand didn't get in here. So now I'm going to pour this coarse silica sand 2030 to the bottom of it. And it is pretty coarse. Looks perfect, but I'm not sure about the wicking properties of it. How much water will wick up. Hopefully it has some. Now let's pour it in. I think that's good enough. Now I'm going to put some weed guard on top of this so that it separates the sand from my soil. And I think I've changed my mind on the coconut coir. I think I'm going to just use the bulk potting soil. The coconut coir is going to be too expensive to fill all these because I'm going to do 20 of them. So that'd be crazy expensive. Okay, I have the weed guard in. I'm going to try and keep it up on the sides when I fill it slowly. And I have it wrapped around here. So the first scoop, I shoved it to the corners to hold up the weed fabric. So I'm going to continue shoveling. I'll come back when it's almost full. Okay, I'm almost to the top. I've got my Primark Freedom Blackberry bush I'm gonna put in. So I got the Primark Freedom in. It was about 3 5-gallon buckets full of soil. So I did 1/3 of this potting soil I got at bulk from a landscaping, and it's just so dry. it's not going to wick up. It's mostly pine bark fines. Supposedly there's compost in there, but it didn't look right to me. And I've grown in it and did not get good results. Wasn't holding enough moisture, and I think the blackberries like more moisture. So I did 1 5-gallon bucket of this, 1 5-gallon bucket of peat moss, and then 1 bag of compost. Now I'm gonna mulch it with the mulch I already had on it, because that has a little bit of slow release fertilizer in there. The little pellets are the slow release. And then I also put some organic fertilizer in the soil as well. And it is very heavy, but the reason why I did this instead of the mineral tub is I can try multiple varieties, and then they're somewhat movable, but it's still quite heavy. But I can at least pick it up and put it in a wheelbarrow, as opposed to the mineral tub. I'm not moving that at all. So I can move these around at will and try like 3 different kinds of blackberries. I'm gonna try Ponca, Primark Freedom, and then a Marionberry, but I don't know how well any of these are gonna do in Florida, zone 10A. We'll see. See, when I put it down there, it just pops right back out. Just like that. So that's why I'm gonna zip tie them together, this, so it'll rest down there nicely. So I'm going to come in 1 rib and poke a hole here with this little poker from Harbor Freight, and then make a little wire with a screwdriver. Do that on the inside on both sides. And I do 1 rib in so that I can put the weed guard right around here and zip tie it to here without having to do anything crazy. So I've got 1 real long zip tie. Go in here. Pull it through, and then feed it back. Then give it a couple zipped, but I don't want it too tight because I want it close to the edge for when I put the drain tube in. I want it to shit flat, so I need to tighten it a little bit more. So after some experimenting, 1 1/4 inch hole saw creates a much tighter fit, and I still use the wheat fabric. And then there's a angled cut on the PVC, and that goes through. And then I'm gonna add a zip tie right here, so I can't pull it out quite as easily, but that's how it sits. This time I'm gonna try and learn from my mistake and angle it so that this pipe doesn't come in at an angle, because I did it perpendicular to this. I need it to do like this angle. Slow at the end because I want a real tight fit. Oh, that was easy. And push it all the way in so that this nipple squeezes outwards on this pipe. Creates a good seal right here, and that looks real good. Real happy with that. Now that's gonna be perfect with the ground. Now, see, it's coming in there. I just need to drill a hole here that matches. So I changed my mind about having a 90 on the inside. I'm not building a beta bucket here. That's what these are for. I'm building a wicking tub. So I wanted to have standing water in there for a couple inches at the bottom. So I'm just gonna have this this on the inside, just feed it in, and it's a nice tight fit. So I was able to put both these on from the outside, which is much easier. Now I'm just gonna put this in, feed that pipe into 4-inch, like that. And there's the final build. That pipe goes in there, real tight fit. I'll fill with sand again. Alright, this is my second. At about 20. We gotta take forever. So this pot has been sitting in the sun for about an hour now. It's January 1st at noon in Florida, zone 10A. And it's only 69 degrees out, air temperature, with the direct sun hitting the pot. The outside is 122 degrees. And then I have a thermostat with a probe about 1 inch inside. The soil temperature is at 77 degrees. But if I put the probe right on the inside, it got over 100. But I think 1 inch in, I think the roots will get burnt on this side, but it's got plenty of other space for the roots. So I think it should be fine, but I might need to monitor it. Last resort would be painting it white, but I don't think any kind of paint sticks to this. So I really don't want to do that. So this is what it looks like before it goes in. I have that hole, that pipe. It's gonna be a snug fit. Angle it. And then hold from the outside somehow. Push it on. That's pretty good. Now fill it up with sand. Weed guard is in. Now some more potting soil. It's been another 2 hours, and now the soil's up to 87 degrees. So this might be a problem in the summertime when the air temperature, well, the outside's dropped. Oh, I guess it depends on where I am. Yeah, it's later in the day, and it's just radiated into the soil. So when the air temperature's 90 plus degrees, this might become a problem. So now I'm wondering if this coarse silica sand is too coarse to have any wicking properties. So I'm going to set up a little experiment to see how much it wicks up. I'm going to fill up the water to here, to this line, and see how much it wicks up. So I'm going to fill it up from this straw, just as if it was a wicking bed. And see after time if it wicks up, if at all. So I've dug a little hole so I can see how much water is going in there. But it clearly does have some kind of wicking capabilities, because the more water I put in here, the higher this water rises, even though there's no standing water here. So the more I put in here, the more it just wicks up. As soon as it fills up with water, then you can see it creep up. See right there. So it does have some wicking capabilities.